What if I told you that one of the strangest characters in the Amazing Digital Circus might not just be quirky, but actually dangerous? There's a wild theory circulating that Bubble isn't just Caine's odd companion. He might be a literal computer virus infecting the game. And honestly, the evidence is pretty convincing. Let's dive into this. First, let's talk about how unusual Bubble is compared to every other character. Right from the start, something feels wrong about him. Caine himself refers to Bubble as a parasite. Not a friend, not a helper, but a parasite. That's a pretty loaded word choice, don't you think? Unlike the other AI characters who have purposes and personalities, Bubble seems to exist for no reason other than to show up randomly and say unhinged things. He has no backstory, no goals, no arc. He's just there, chaotic and unpredictable. Here's another red flag. Bubble is the only AI in the entire series who's dropped an actual swear word. Every other character stays within certain boundaries, but Bubble, he breaks the rules. It's like he's operating outside the normal constraints of the game's programming. And then there's his behavior. He keeps coming back after being popped, almost like he can't be permanently deleted. He even seems to enjoy getting popped, which is bizarre. It's like destruction doesn't affect him the way it should. Now let's get into the really creepy stuff. Have you noticed Bubble's animations in certain scenes? There are moments where he just stares directly at the screen, not at other characters, at us, at the camera, like he's aware of something the others aren't. In episode 7, when Caine appears, Bubble is frozen in place, eyes locked on the viewer. It's unsettling and feels intentional, almost like he's glitching or behaving in ways that weren't supposed to happen. When fans asked Gooseworks, the creator, about Bubble's gender, she made a point to confirm he's male. Why does this matter? Because it connects to something from real-world internet history, the Bubble Boy virus. Back in 1999, there was an actual computer virus called Bubble Boy. It was terrifying for its time because it could infect your system just by opening an email. You didn't even need to click an attachment. It spread rapidly and was incredibly hard to get rid of. Now, think about the timeline. The Amazing Digital Circus is set in a game that likely originated in the late 90s or early 2000s, right around when the Bubble Boy virus was making headlines. The name match? That can't be a coincidence. If Bubble is based on this virus, it would explain everything about his character, why he keeps reappearing, why Caine calls him a parasite but doesn't remove him, why he acts so chaotic and unpredictable. He's not supposed to be there. He's an infection that got into the game and never left. But here's the interesting part. Bubble doesn't actually break anything. He's annoying, sure, and he's definitely not part of the original design, but he doesn't corrupt the game or hurt the trapped players. He's just weird and disruptive. Maybe that's why Caine tolerates him. Caine might not be able to delete Bubble. Viruses are notoriously difficult to remove completely. But since Bubble isn't actively harmful, Caine's learned to live with him. Maybe he's even kept Bubble around for company, as twisted as that sounds. Think about how lonely Caine must be. He's an AI running a game that's trapped real people, and he seems increasingly unstable as the series goes on. Having something, even if it's a parasitic virus, might be better than being completely alone in that digital space. It would also explain why Bubble seems to have so much freedom. He pops in and out without permission, says whatever he wants, and faces no real consequences, because Caine can't control him the way he controls everything else in the circus. So what does this mean for the story going forward? If Bubble really is a virus, could he become dangerous later on? Right now he seems harmless, but viruses can evolve. Maybe there's a reason the show is keeping him around. He could play a bigger role in how the game eventually falls apart, or how the characters escape. Or maybe Bubble is a reminder that the game itself is broken and unstable. A digital space that was never meant to trap real human consciousness, now infected with something that can't be removed. I think this theory holds a lot of water. The name connection, the behavior, Caine's reaction, the timeline, it all lines up way too well to be accidental. Bubble is probably a virus, and that makes him way more important than he first appears. What do you guys think? Does this theory change how you see Bubble? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear if you caught any other clues I missed. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe for more digital circus theories.